like, look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's running IronAge.media, creating Anvil, the anthology.
Iron Age.
Iron Age. Who even
so-called
knows?
Iron Age.
Yeah. My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Number one Iron Age booty daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying a goat. I love goat. We have a show this evening, or we don't, and it all stops here. That's fine. And so cometh the Iron Age of media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody? What's up, everybody? We're into another Friday. Hello. Yes, dude, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be a great friggin' show. This is gonna be an awesome show. Chat, I see you already, chat. Richard's a little late because I don't know. I guess he had better things to do.
As Richard does.
I can't imagine having something better to do than being here, but I don't know. I guess my priorities are different.
Not sure if I should be sad for you or not.
I don't know. Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights, the interview show that we do every single Friday. We bring you guys a new indie creator, and that could be somebody doing a movie, a comic, a tabletop RPG, or so many other different forms of media. We've had musicians on the show. We've had tons of people on the show. And so our goal is just to highlight all of these fantastic creators because you know what? They're pretty good. At least I think they're pretty good. I don't know. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. And before we get into it, I will say hello to the chat because last week I forgot to say hello to the chat and my co-host.
Hello, chat.
Well, we have to do better than that. Over on Rumble,
I know you do.
Yeah. Oh God. Over on Rumble, we got Garham. What's going on, man? Chat Sue is over there as well. Skunk's Workshop, listening and drawing. Crack open those White Claws. No, I don't drink White Claw. You sons.
The channel lore continues.
Jack, you're going to get introduced to a lot of channel lore tonight. I apologize.
It's all good. I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
I drank a protein drink.
Right. The other, yeah, right.
That's what you need for this.
The other thing I tell people: don't feed the chat. Don't engage with the chat. Don't even
always
look at
feed the chat.
Never feed the chat. You guys don't just no.
Well, a great chat. I got quite a few people.
Yeah. No, they'll funnel in and out as the night goes on. It's January and February on YouTube, and they don't like to send out notifications for some reason. I'll have an email list up soon, though. I'm actually going to have an email list because I'm tired of that. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's skirt that notifications. Anyway, all right. Over on YouTube, we got Horizon Talker. What's going on, man? We got Evely Music down there as well. Timo Burnham. What's going on, man? We got Garham. Double dipping. Oxen W. What's up? Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge. How you doing? We got James Craig as well. My lovely wife, Rose, which, by the way, she wanted me to say hello to you and that she's followed you for years and she loves the hell out of you. So she is.
I'm honored. It feels good to be recognized, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. She even told me, she's like, I might come downstairs and pop on camera just to say hi. So that could happen. We've got Jersey down in the chat as well. What's going on? Bat Sauce, how you doing? Bong Donkey. I love that name. That is such a great internet name. I love that name. I don't even care. Mike has bad knees. What's going on? So good to see another ANCAP representing. There you go. 10 Cage, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you. And the chat jumped on me. We got DCC as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great show. Richard is a little bit late this evening, as I said. So we're going to start with Daniel. Daniel, man, how's your last week been, dude? Oh, I'm sorry.
Very
Daniel.
good.
Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org. I got to do it. I got to do it proper. I've got
Okay. Go ahead. Rewind.
Right. How would I do this? I got to do it right. It would be, and ladies and gentlemen, introducing my co-host this evening, the man who is going to go into the depths of your mind and pull that poor battered story out that you've been hiding away from the world for years and help you put it on the page. And that story will love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org. There you go.
Yeah. Now you did it right.
I
Good.
did it right. Yeah. I'm a little off. I'm a little off today.
At least we didn't have to pull the Sarah McLachlan song. You know? It's a copy strike right there, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I came up with that. It was the dumbest thing on the planet, but oh God.
I am doing well. The comics in print, tentative delivery date is the 7th. So I'll have to pick through and make sure it's all good before I start packaging and sending them out. Merch orders already in for those that picked up any of the stickers or the hoodie or anything like that off of the campaign. The big Jack face.
I need a link.
It's all about the brows. Yes.
I need a link to what you're using. That's a thing.
I can link it to you. It's available out there. You can get it.
Nice.
Dude, anything analog, I love, dude. That's freaking great. I love
And
it.
the G Sedai storefront is up on Fund My Comic now. The digital is just $5. The print version is 10, only because of the print cost and shipping nonsense. That one is just black and white. Those of you who did back the campaign and got the special color pop are the only ones that are going to get it, because that run is done.
Dude, I love the color pop too. And I also love that your stretch goal was a discount code for the next book.
Yep.
That's
everybody that backed. Yeah. They'll be getting that email probably a month before the campaign for issue 2 launches. The color pop issue 2 launches. So anyone that continues to back this project will get a full run of color pop special edition comics.
That's so freaking cool, dude. That's awesome.
It's smart. It's a good one.
Yeah, dude.
At a discounted price.
It beats giving people nudes.
I mean,
that's for sure.
Does it though? Does it though? Well, I guess if they don't like it, I guess it does.
Daniel's behind the scenes.
Oh God. Oh, there it is. Wrangler came
There are
in.
some things I think I'll keep to myself.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sure. God.
There was a controversy on Twitter for about a hot minute over some guy petitioning reviewers doing, like female reviewers doing model shoots with his product. And then there was this one dude who actually took pictures of himself naked holding a book over his junk. And when I saw it, the only thing I could think was what I posted, which was, hey, how about we put some pants on before we fight social injustice today?
Yeah. Dude, that's freaking great, man.
Yeah,
That's
hard comic to sell, that's for sure.
Right?
All right, emphasis on the hard. Anyway,
that is definitely not a saddle spine.
Oh shit! Oh god! Wrangler came in and dropped a super chat for $4.20. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being there, dude. It's awesome, man. I hope you guys have a good time with this conversation. JVP Music, which by the way, JVP just released the second issue of his heavy metal audio comic over on YouTube called Ruthless.
Yes.
And I have challenged a few people to go in and find the character that I voiced. I was very happy with that. Hell, Daniel worked on it, and he didn't even know who I was. It was great. So
I got multiple versions of it with various audio to pick through and make sure it was all good. And I was like, until I saw the credits roll at the end when it was actually in there, I was like, I couldn't figure out who Royce voiced. I totally missed it. I was listening, couldn't hear it.
Yeah. Turns out I know how to change my voice. It was awesome. JVP for $5 says, just dropping in real quick. Hail Iron Age Knights. Hail the sexy chat. Don't tell the chat that. I keep telling you people. Stop giving chat credit. Jack, you'll
I
get
think
it.
you're doing this.
I don't know. It looks like a great
streamer
chat.
thing wrong.
No, stop.
I mean-
Not. It's there.
It looks great.
No, stop it. Stop. You don't know.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to find out.
They're a fine, fastic.
Aaron makes you say it's a sexy chat. So I'm just like, okay.
Oh, well, I guess no better time to intro. I love that. I need you to send this to me. Oh, and my wife is in the chat. No. Oh, and she's egging them on.
Yeah, she's still
Of
stirring.
course.
She's like
Yeah.
sprinkling the seasoning, like Salt Bay, just dropping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
She seasons better than that. I know. I've had her food. So
That's
with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll introduce Richard when he gets here, or we won't. It's fine. But with all of that being said,
He's
we
late.
have-
He doesn't get to shill.
Yeah, he doesn't get to show. We have a fantastic guest tonight, guys. This is one that we've had set up for, oh my God, about a month and a half, I think, at this point.
Yeah. 2
Yeah,
months.
it's been almost 2 months because
Long, hard months.
yeah, schedules have to work out. But I am so freaking excited for this, and a lot has happened in between then. But man, I will say this: I've now follow you because some people told me about you. I now follow you on Twitter, and I see all your takes on Twitter, and I'm just like, I get it. And I want to talk with you about that stuff, but I also have to introduce you as a freaking comic creator. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack V Lloyd. What's going on, man? How has your week been?
My week's been awesome. I mean, I really just been having a blast with the comic stuff, kind of wrapping up production on the latest issue because it was a slamming success on the latest Suit Saga arc. We did Indiegogo and we did Fund My Comic, and Fund My Comic was a new thing for me. Obviously they're more recent.
Mm-hmm.
And just didn't have much expectations. Just like, okay, whatever. They like free speech, like creator autonomy. I'm like, we'll see what goes down. And it was successful. And of course, Eric July, helped that along as well with his special giftings to everybody. So I'm very thankful that I think it was Immortal Rising who declined that money. So forever grateful to you. Thank you so much for doing that, because without that, we wouldn't have reaped some great rewards. So but
yeah, that was
I appreciate it. I'll take it all day. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I will not refund $1,000, just to let you know. I will keep it. So if you send me $1,000, anybody, I'm not sending it back.
Nope.
Just straight up.
We'll make more
I don't care
comics
who
out of it.
dude. That was an insane 24 hours watching it. And here's the thing too, is like, I don't know if friends is the right word, but like we're all acquaintances with Immortal. And
I've been in his show. Show.
Oh yeah, no, dude, Immortal. I love the fuck out of the guy. I love the fuck out of that. I think he got a little hot. And heavy that day. But dude, man, no. But honestly, that big ass internet argument bore some great fruit, and that was awesome. I love seeing it. And so, I guess getting into it, I'm gonna kind of ask you the same question that I ask everybody else to get the show started off, because it's a great first question. Trump would say it's the best first question. It's the greatest first question. This is the only.
It's incredible.
You'll
never hear a question as good as this question. It's phenomenal.
It's great. So that's the first time I've ever done a Trump thing on this show. Wow, I don't know what the hell. I'm not good. I can't. Anyway, so no,
It's all in the hands.
it's all. Well, we all know I talk with my hands. It's a meme it's a meme at this point. I've seen them. Anyway,
I'm not gonna go any further because it just derails the whole thing. But it's pinch the nipples, rub the boobs.
All right. So getting into the creator aspect of this with comics.
It's literally what he does. Sorry.
I know. Okay. So, all right. So getting into the creator aspect of this, you've been releasing your Voluntarious comic for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, when do you get into comics or the comic book storytelling or whatever? What inspired you to do it? What age were you? What gets you into this whole thing? Were you a kid? Were you a teenager? Were you in college? Like, because everybody's got this different thing. And everybody has that different thing. That's like, man, when I was a kid, like I knew this is what I was going to do. So where does this whole journey start for you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was going to be making comics when I was a kid. I certainly liked comics and liked superhero stuff, Batman, Superman, watching Batman the animated series. Was big into doing cosplay stuff early in the day with like Lord of the Rings, the original Spider-Man, and all that. Dressed up for Fantastic Four, dressed up for Star Wars when it was still somewhat okay. So to me, I've always been into nerdum things. I mean, my biggest fandom is Godzilla, and this has been the year of Godzilla. Like, so
right.
If you haven't seen G-1, you got to see it. But
hell yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it just the most fantastic, I think, movie of the year. To me, it beat Oppenheimer, Barbie, all that stuff. So it was,
Admittedly, I heard those movies were mediocre. It was, but social media kind of won the day on those two. I've heard that pretty much both of those movies were just mediocre from what I've heard. Yeah,
entertaining, but the Barbie was just it was so SJW. I couldn't take it. But
I heard it was so SJW. It went around and it actually became pro.
Masculine. It was oddly trad at the end. Like it did a full circle and went, "Hey, so this whole thing is bullshit."
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was written like as if it was like a lesbian diatribe against guys, essentially, because she rejects. Spoiler alert, but
I don't do spoilers. I give it.
Okay. She rejects Ken, So, and then she goes on to get, her gynecology exam. So, but the whole thing was the movies are all lackluster, and G-1 finally brought a movie without all the SJW nonsense. The characters were believable. It was enjoyable. It had themes of people coming together privately, being skeptical of the government and being frustrated with it. And they just, really had a plot connection that was so refreshing. None of this stuff where it's like, oh my gosh, all men are evil and, whatever. We need to have some like wonky version of, dysfunctional version of female empowerment. It was just beautiful. Everybody in that movie was just entertaining and, strung you along in a way that just you wanted to see what happened next kind of thing. So
I gotta watch this movie now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. And I'm a huge kaiju nerd, so.
Oh, me too.
Fantastic. I changed my ringtone on my daughter's phone once when she was 15 to the Godzilla roar.
Yes.
And then called her just to freak her out.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, it's crazy how they did. I think that's still a secret how they did that originally. Not like in terms of what they used in the strings, but just the exact way that they rubbed the strings. The rubbing thing is still kind of a trade secret, like the exact way they rub it,
Yep.
But so anyway, back to how this all came to be. So I just always was into this stuff. It was just like something that I enjoyed, across the board. I had different fandoms and, different levels of fandoms, but I was wanting to do something where I can combine my love of human freedom and liberty into something that was entertaining. And while I was studying for the bar exam after law school, I, was going toward this idea.
Wait. You're a lawyer?
Yeah, technically.
So casually said, yeah.
Can I?
I'm a lot of different things.
Do I need to shut the fuck up right now, or
as you should be?
No, you're good. Yeah, no. So back in the day, I did juvenile criminal defense entertainment law and not-for-profit law, basically before leaving that and then doing state school teaching for a little bit and then opening my own tutoring company and then doing other things and being a producer and all this other stuff. So lots of things. But back to the study for the bar exam. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do something creative. And I enjoyed, of course, superhero genre. I was like, okay, what could I do that makes sense? And I played with some ideas of cosplay before. And then eventually I was like, maybe I could make a movie script or something like that, But I just realized it's really tough to do that right. You know what I mean? It's expensive, right? If you're going to do a movie and do it right, it's like, you need a big budget to do that really well. So it's like, okay, the intermediate between a novel and a movie is comics. It's like, wait, I can do that. And that's reasonable. It's not too crazy expensive to make. And so I decided to reformat what I was writing for a comic book series. And then, basically voluntarist, this fun thing here was born. But
there you go.
It didn't get born, right off the bat. There was many Futureverse prototypes that I did before getting to the canon origin story. And then even there, the company I was working with for the first 2 years, they went defunct. So I had some continuity issues and things I wanted to fix. And so just the other year before, that's when, basically we did this, you can see right here, we did this remaster. And this is the trade paperback of it. And so we brought into continuity the entire series under, one trade paperback. And so now it's beautiful, 192 pages. And, as you can see, it's got, full color. It's got nice lettering. I did it myself. So that's the, creative side of things that I, contribute to and that kind of thing. But it took a number of years to get there. Thank you. Yeah. It's, it's got some strength in the glutes.
Strength in the glutes. Yeah. Is that... And that you can get that on Amazon if I'm not mistaken, right?
You can get digitals of the first 6 issues on Amazon. The print comics are print on demand through a company called Indie Planet, and they have the print of this and the 6 standalone issues. So that's print on demand, and they have digital too there. But there's many options, where you can get it, kind of thing.
And can we find that through your jackvloyd.com?
Yeah, definitely. You can find the comics through Jack V Lloyd, and the single issues, will be listed there. So, we basically did a remaster everything, redoing the covers, which I just love the artwork on this. It came out super cool, which is especially good because, as you've seen, I think time and again, a lot of the quality controls that even Marvel and DC had just gone, in the pooper. So, I try to do something a little bit better, a little more, traditional. And this one's super cool because this is done by Rippaverse artist Igor Teixeira. He actually
got Igor. Oh, yes. Dude, I love Igor to death, dude. He's so freaking cool.
Igor is my boy. He is so awesome. And, he's done this cover for me. He's done my nonfiction book, my first nonfiction book's cover, and a few art pieces and stuff like that. And so we still connect and have some things in store, going forward as well. There'll be some things coming up, which I don't want to totally reveal yet, but there's more Igor to come when it comes to voluntarist. So,
dude, Igor's so cool.
Yeah, he's super talented. So, he did this this cover here. He did that for me. So
very nice.
Yeah. He's got a lot of talents.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, there it is.
Sorry, I came too quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did that cover. I mean, as you can see, he really nailed the guy.
Just keep fueling the hedge, Jack.
Richard's just like, oh god, what did I get into?
Yeah, I came in late, and
yeah.
Oh, that's the problem with coming late.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about ready to just pull out of this interview entirely. But
shit,
safer that way.
We just began.
Yeah.
And it's just spiraling. It's not gotten any better. It just keeps going. We've heard pull out. We've heard it's safer.
It's not gotten any better. It just keeps going. Yeah.
It's just going to make a mess. You have to deal with it.
It's definitely not a commentary on anything else there.
Not at all.
What are you guys thinking about?
Richard,
how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a week. It's been a week. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad that it's Friday, but I'm also like, I need more days than I've got currently. So
they need to make a pill that makes me not sleep, so I can just get 6 to 8 hours of my day back. I hate sleep.
Does that extend?
Yeah, I was gonna say a pill, 6 to
Well,
8
that's
hours.
a different
Here.
one. I need it for the brain. I need it for the big brain, not the.
Part of you
the
will be
other
awake for
brain.
6 to 7 hours. You might have to call your
Any
doctor.
longer, consult your physician.
I don't know. I'm going to take the Jeff Foxworthy approach. I'm not going to call my doctor. I might call the doctor, but I'm wearing the hospital gown backwards.
Gosh dang it.
Oh God.
I always
So
wondered why they put the hospital gown that way. It's like,
right.
why do they have it where it opens from the back? It's so suggestive.
I don't know.
No.
Oh God.
It's like, why is that side of me okay to be seen?
The designer was a butt guy.
Right.
Exactly. It's like,
Dude, he didn't think about dudes being in it. He was just like, oh crap. Okay, so God. Okay. So
I only go to hospitals with front gowns.
with front I think they call those bathrobes. Anyway, so all right, so you decide that you're gonna put this thing together. You decide that you're gonna go for the voluntarius. You're gonna make your character. And you're gonna go through all this. Where does the character start? How does this character start for you?
So the character was for me, it was something that I wanted to do where I thought it was a strong starting point for, I think, a lot of people's relatability at the time. So the character, and if you see right here, right there it is, where it says, Jack Lloyd for me, that's just a stage name thing I used to promote the character. So the main character in the book is Jack Lloyd, but I just used that to promote the book and stuff like that. So, his character is a young guy who just recently graduated college with an engineering degree. And in the story, he is going back home because his dad is getting a hip surgery. And so they just need some help around the house because they have a organic farm. And so, the son's going to come back and just, help facilitate things while he just recovers. And then he can go on to a job that he got offered after he did an internship. And so while he's back home, that's when there's this certain cosmic event thing that happens that changes his life forever and other people and creatures on the planet. And the backdrop to this, it's makes my story a little bit different from a lot of what you see out there, is that the themes I have kind of have a very strong pro-liberty theme. And unlike a lot of comic books out there that are very much about assuming the goodness of whatever's ruling or the government, or that it's just maybe a few bad apples, right? Oh, it's a bad king and we just need a good king, that kind of thing. My series cuts to the core, questioning what it means to be truly free. And it's not like some type of like preachy thing or anything like that. It's just a regular comic book story, but the norms are flipped. And the reason why that's unusual is just you can't really find that in most any comic book. The norms like that are just not out there. Every single series you can imagine kind of has this like base norm, this base ethical backdrop of the government being good or just having some bad apples that need to be changed, kind of thing. It's very rare to find any types of meaningful themes that way.
And well, and you look into it, and I mean, most of our, the biggest comic book companies out there were, and the stories that were out there that became popular that we obviously know today were founded during World War II and everything that was going on then. And obviously we were fighting against the bad guys from World War II. And so we must have been the good guys, and therefore our government was the good guys. And that through line that you see in the very early comic books has just kind of carried through the generations and never really stopped, never really let go. I don't know of a storyline so much that has ever actually gone and been like, wait a minute, is the government actually bad? I'm sure they're out there, but I'm not familiar with them.
Mutant Registration Act, X-Men.
No, and that was
yes, it was
actually,
technically
X-Men,
perpetuated.
You're right. X-Men was actually one of the few that actually did that, though. Then was like, wait a minute, maybe
it was technically perpetuated by a villain, but he was just a normal guy who was afraid of mutants and convinced the government that they were dangerous. So it's sort of like he weaponized the government, but by all general standard, it was the government that was attempting to enslave and control this. It was sort of an allegory to the Nazi subjugation of the Jewish people.
Well, and I mean they've kind of rejected that. Stanley kind of rejected that, but I think obviously Stanley
it wasn't intentional, but that's what it was interpreted as, or interpreted as. Yes,
interpreted.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
all
also
right.
there's a
I'm
civil
doing
rights
a
aspect
poll.
too.
I'm doing a poll now. I'm okay. So the chat, shall we now use
Interpreted
with a D or
A.
a T?
Extra T. Yes.
Extra T.
Interpreted. Like potato.
Yeah. Shall we now use interpreted? Is that how the word of...
Give me like 3 more glasses. It's going to get worse.
But beyond that, though, what you're saying there, though, still doesn't actually cut to the core. Government itself is actually not challenged. It's only that it's a corrupt government, and they just need the right people to be in office. And you have that, of course, with the mutant stuff, and it talked about civil rights. Stanley talked about that. You have that with, the Avengers and that whole thing as well. With their being, controlled by the government, and the Civil War. With Steve Rogers and Captain America, all that stuff. But you go back, way back to the early comic history. Even Marvel's early comics were about police and like saying lawbreakers always lose. They had a series about that, and just basically saying the government will get you if you're a bad guy. And then of course, much of between Disney and DC, their characters were used as war propaganda. Of course, with the Superman taking on a certain group of people in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. So
don't you hate YouTube?
America
don't you love this wonderful way that we have to flower our way around this tender sensibilities of YouTube? It's
not so great people in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. So
like high boots and a lot of marketing.
Yeah, right, exactly. They had great branding in terms of very uniform,
constantly
very
looking
details,
for Kyle.
Contrast, right. But not great ideology. So, but yeah, by and large, you're not going to find those themes, typically, Batman had one little series with Anarchy with a K, but that was Anne Sock, anarcho-socialist bent. And it wasn't, in my opinion, very good. I have that series. There's been themes though too, like pushing back Agent Liberty in the early 90s. This is back when you had like the Ruby Ridge stuff, and the right-wing militia groups in the 90s issue. They pushed back on that and made the people who wanted freedom the bad guys. With Agent Liberty. So the most common trope that you'll see in comics is that the government is either good or it just has some bad actors, needs to be fixed. And if you go especially to modern times, everything that is in the comic, realm that's being promoted now, from Jupiter's Legacy to The Boys, whatever is a Peacemaker, whatever, you're gonna see those shows actually have what is an anti-authoritarian but leftist socialist bent.
And you're not wrong. It was and it still had some of it in there, but it was kind of refreshing. I cannot believe that they released Captain America Winter Soldier. Like,
because it's cold.
Just that movie. I was watching that movie and I was like, wait a minute. Like, they know what they're saying, right? Like, does anybody else? Oh no, it's just this fun movie. No, like that is one of the movies that came out that was very, very, and a lot of people still say it's one of the best of the MCU. That I look at Captain America: The Winter Soldier and I'm like, how the hell did that movie get made? Like,
well, it still followed the paradigm because it was, for all intents and purposes, Hydra, an actual evil organization infiltrating the government. And they did that. What people don't remember is they did an entire massive lead up in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show before the Winter Soldier movie that explained the insidious infestation. I know, but they were still following the paradigm that the government is fine. It was just these bad guys got in it.
Yeah, but no. But like, I always read it as just, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm just like, government just draws bad people to it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yes, it
people
does.
who want power seek to go into government. That's why we won't end up with people who actually deserve to be in government anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because government systems are built to be corrupted.
I hope that Brandon Herrera actually goes in and causes a ruckus because I love the hell out of that guy. I don't know. I guess there's been some people more in the modern day. I guess every generation will have those people that go in that believe it, but they're definitely outnumbered. I mean, they're definitely. We'll never see a Calvin Coolidge again. Like, we just won't. Do you know who Calvin Coolidge is, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, basically every president is not admirable. So it's.
The reason
he went right away and was going after people with the Whiskey Rebellion and going after people for taxes. You know, violently suppressing people. People forget that the Alien Sedition Acts were passed very soon. You know, after you had the Constitutional Convention. You know, replaced the Articles of Confederation. So people forget that you know, as soon as liberty is secured just a little bit, there's always people trying to go and re-enslave people. So it's nuts.
Agents, a Sound Engraver, I disagree. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not a top tier show. I watched more seasons. I gave more time of my life to that than I would be proud of, and no.
There were only 3 seasons of it that were actually good from that entire run. And 2 of them involved the infestation of Hydra into the government, specifically into S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. Those 2 seasons around that and the first season introduction were the best. The rest of it was just nonsense.
So, all right. So, obviously, we're already in the governmental topic, which I was waiting for and I wanted.
You waited.
Because this, out of all the guests that we have had, I get to use you as an excuse. Thank you, by the way. To be like, why on God's green earth do we not have more stories talking about the overarching, just horrible pretense that the government is and how it always ends up corrupt? Every time it's tried, and it's just a thing. It's just a thing. I mean, I will say this: I do believe that the American system has been the most successful system on the planet, but that doesn't mean it is without its corruption. Every time a government is tried, it is always freaking corrupt. And why is it that in today's day and age, we don't have more people trying to tell stories about that or trying to incorporate that in the stories?
Well, Jack came right out and did it.
It's true. I mean, it's very difficult to get any story that actually teaches people about what's going on in the world. And that's a part of what my series does, is that it makes you question, what if this is fiction? What if this is real? Right? That's always what I want people wondering, is like, how much of this is this fictional comic story and how much of this ties to what is going on in, you know, the real world. And I do that because I want, when someone reads a story, for them to be inspired and challenged. There's an escapism aspect, of course. I love, you know, having fun, great stories, but I wanted to bring something that left you feeling kind of satisfied, you know, not just like, oh, okay, whatever, some guy beats a bad guy. And, you know, I guess I could have predicted that with a, you know, hero's journey arc, whatever. I wanted something that was deep, meaningful, and constantly kept you on your toes, wondering, okay, what's real? What's fiction? Oh my gosh, wait, what is this? I got to go Google this, right? That's what I want with my storytelling, to get people kind of excited and to get them, you know, having fun thinking about the world and what's going on. Because sometimes it's just hard to get people to even think about those things otherwise. You know, there's just so much, of course, in life going on as it is, and just trying to pay for things and trying to, you know, make life work with family and this or that. It's just sometimes difficult to have pleasure and education, or at least something that's philosophical to, you know, stir you. So I wanted to have that in there. Again, it's not a preachy way or anything like that. It's not something where it's like, you need to think something, but it just ties meaningfully to the story, where it's an important part of the plot.
And I haven't gotten there yet.
So I have something, and I have said this many times on the channel, and the guys on the chat will back me up on this. So I fervently believe that although we can have storytelling that kind of guides us through a lot of our moral day to day, one of the biggest issues that we have is that most people are not separating reality from fiction in storytelling. I personally
Fair.
believe that having reality and fiction not separated is actually highly corrosive to the human mind, being that the human mind needs the ability, or as we've come to exist, needs to essentially take a break from the day. So do you feel that the story that you're telling, it does, I guess it almost sounds like you're tying it almost too closely to the real world and almost not allowing for the escapism break? Like, is this story so inextricably tied to it that if people are reading this, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about? They are going to go do the Googling? Or is there enough escapism in there? Like, was that something that you were thinking about? Were you thinking about telling a story that allowed for escapism as a break from reality, or where's your mindset on that? And we may disagree.
No, the story is totally a regular story. That I just showed you a panel where it's like this one little thing where someone's talking about puzzle pieces of something that affected them, but that's not every page. That was just pointing out to how it might stir someone to look at something. But no, the story is just totally a normal comic book story where you're connecting with characters and it's a fictional thing, going through this person's life and graduation, and then having them kind of flow through what it is that they're thinking about and creating character development and all that good stuff. So no, it has nothing to do with just this like informational thing at all. And sometimes people do get confused about that, and they think, oh, is that what this is? Is this like some Jack Chick track? It's like, no, not at all. It's actually a regular comic book story. But okay. I do like to remind people that every single story has ethics and politics underpinning it, because no matter whatever the protagonist does and says and is left unchallenged is viewed as the baseline norm. Right. Mm-hmm. So if a certain protagonist does something, to another person, it might be viewed as acceptable or not acceptable. Some things might be tolerated or not tolerated. And this happens, everywhere. Even like one of my favorite series, Invincible, right? The writer at one point puts in this whole thing about how the government's providing free college and free healthcare for everybody. And it's just unchallenged. It's just a statement within it. And it's just, one of those little like seed drops, right? That the writer's putting in their views within a character, and you hear it, and it's not challenged. It's not a debate or discourse over it. It just happens. Right. And someone reading that who's not awakened to those things and is not, perceiving of those things might have that work on their subconscious. Right. They're reading this fantasy thing and they're like, oh, wow, we thought it was great to have free universal healthcare or something like that. That happens all the time. But people are not aware of that in comics very often because, when they're reading it, they're maybe not as sophisticated yet if they're really young, that kind of thing, in terms of being able to see what's going on.
I actually had that when I met a lot of my family up in Canada when my mom and I visited.
Oh,
a lot of my mom's family even would kind of like laugh at the idea of the Bill of Rights. And it's just like, they're like, oh, well, your government gives you this Bill of Rights. We're like, no, I don't think you read that thing right. Like, our government didn't give that to us. Our government recognized that we had those things, and our current government needs to remember that. And I was like 18, and they were talking about how free healthcare this, free healthcare that. And dude, the list of taxes on the bottom of their receipts in Canada is longer than what they actually purchase in the grocery store.
Longer than a CVS receipt.
Oh, dude, it's insane, man. They barely have room for companies to put the fucking 15% off at it. It's ridiculous, but I've actually had that in real life. I've actually had that.
Yeah.
Star Trek is also a perfect example of that. There's a episode. I don't believe it was ever explicitly stated in the original series how everyday life worked, but in the Next Generation, they had an episode where a bunch of people were found in a satellite and they were cryogenically frozen. They were from the 2000s because, it's a 1990s show. And Data explains to the one guy that currency concepts were abolished, and all of the money that he had saved up and made in his life that he was storing away for when he got out of cryostasis no longer existed and was totally irrelevant. The writer snuck that in there, and that sort of birthed the concept of utopian society being confirmed in Star Trek, where people no longer had to work and everything was just given to you, and you were able to pursue your life's desires under this new governmental system that they had created. It was never explicitly said in the original series, to my knowledge, but they had to put it in there in Next Generation.
Yep.
One of the best, it was early on, and God, I wish the show would have not just gone completely leftist, but early on, The Expanse actually showed off kind of what that system looks like en masse. And I was appreciative of it. It literally was like, look, the government can't provide for everybody. And guess what? Poverty was huge.
Yep.
Poverty was huge on Earth because the government couldn't provide everything. And it was like, well, we don't have enough jobs for everybody. We don't have that. We don't. And that was the line. Well, we don't have enough jobs for it, which will become the line very soon with AI taking over. So let's not forget that. But it's such an interesting concept to see, is that there are so few modern stories where the government actually does anything right. You know, it's why I absolutely hate when people say, "Oh, Robin Hood was stealing from the rich." I'm like, no, he was not. He was not stealing from the rich, and I don't even know where that whole through line. I would love to find out the first person to coin he stole from the rich and gave to the poor. And it's like, but he didn't. The sheriff of Nottingham, being the guy who lorded over that region, stole from the poor by unjust taxes. And Robin Hood went and took their money back and gave it back to the people.
I'm going to have to check, but I think that was a reference from Alan Adale, the Bard. And it was a song lyric, not a statement. It was one of Alan Adale's song lyrics that coined that particular phrase. He robbed from the rich to give to the poor. There's another stanza, but I can't remember what he says in the latter half of the rhyme. I'll confirm that though.
Uh-oh.
This is showing that panel. I have a collection of all this stuff because a part of my research is, okay, what's the history in comics? And this is an example from Invincible. And he says, through some kind of tax loophole discovered, all state colleges are now free. Congress is passing laws again. They're changing things for the better. Our healthcare system was changed to provide free universal coverage for everyone, right? And this is left completely positive, unchallenged about anything. But it's they slip it in there, and people just don't even know it or think about it because it's just like, oh, okay, I guess that's normal. Okay, oh, that's wonderful.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I mean, but this history, you know, it goes so deep. I mean, even with let me see here if I share. Let's see. I'll present this thing.
Jack's just taking over the show.
I'm good with it. I kind of figured he would.
Yeah.
Did you not?
There you go.
The master.
Chat, I have a question for the chat. It's a very simple question. And by the way, I didn't say interpreted. I said inter-retarded. It was great.
It's even worse. The evolution.
Word is now inter-retarded. I did not realize.
Inter-retarded.
Chat, I have a question for all of you because Jack is taking over the show. Are you not entertained? And I misspell everything, so there's probably chat.
Is it entertained?
Entertained.
No, enter retarded. It should be enter retarded.
Well, at least he typed it instead of using voice to text.
Oh, Daniel gets so mad at me. He's like, dude, can you please check your stuff before you send it to me? I'm like, dude, I don't have time for that.
What the fuck are you saying, Royce?
I pull up, you know what I'm saying. I pull up my phone, I speak it into my phone sends it to people. That's actually, that's a lot of my Twitter posts too. So I know people look at my Twitter posts like, what the is this guy just that retarded? No, I speak it into my phone, I hit send, and I walk away.
So yeah, this just showing here, just another example, right? Superman's making a pee-pee joke. You trying to overcompensate for someone that gun of yours fella, you know, meanwhile Superman can like, you know, rip apart planets, but he's like, oh, you got a gun? You know what I mean? it gets written, you know,
Yeah.
so
And by
often,
dimensions, he's like a full head taller than that guy.
right?
Yeah. No, it's oh god.
Right. So again, so many stories revolve around praising presidents or politicians, right? He says, Superman, I realized, sir, if I knew I wasn't risking my secret identity with you, I knew I wasn't risking my secret identity with you. After all, if I can't trust the president of the United States, who can I trust?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you get your 10-year-old reading this. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess the president is trustworthy. They're
And
great.
which president was that?
Kennedy.
Yeah. Dude, and I used to go rounds with people in my personal life, especially so my mother specifically. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about Trump, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't talked about that enough on this stream. Actually, I don't think we ever have. No, I legit don't think we ever have. I usually don't get political, but I used to tell my mom, my mom was like, "Oh, he's fighting for us, this, that, and the other thing," and I was like, "Mom, it doesn't matter." I was like, "You hold his feet to the fire," and they're like, "No, he's going under so much." It's like, and I was like, "Good." And they're like, "No, like he's definitely not comfortable in the White House. Like so many people are coming after him." I was like, "Mom, good. You should never be comfortable in the White House." And I said something to my mom that I actually can't say on stream. Let's see if I can paraphrase it. I said that no politician should be comfortable in their job for fear of the populace getting very unhappy with them. And they will enact that unhappiness, not necessarily through the ballot box. I think did I vaguely say that enough so that YouTube won't strike me down? But that's what I said to my mom. I was like, I obviously said it a lot more bluntly because this was a phone call conversation.
Let's
YouTube,
cover your ass even more in Minecraft.
Yeah, in Minecraft, right? Oh, I remember this. Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Why did you remind me of this?
Oh, I'll keep reminding you of good stuff. You love that?
You're a horrible human being.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
At least they got his ears right.
Jesus.
Oh, this is the best comic ever made. I'm sorry. This is you can't beat that one.
I'm surprised no one's ever made Alexandria Occasional Cortex.
Oh
no, this is my favorite Spider-Man. Is when I get Colbert.
There you go.
Yeah,
Colbert.
It got bad after the 2010s, dude. It got bad.
Oh yeah, real bad. But
it's always been there. Propaganda is always been
That's
part of the comic industry.
That's what I try to show people. It's this is that lawbreakers always lose. Marvel Comics way back in the day.
Yep.
Real early.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was. I will say this. One of the things that I obviously you saw the Razor Fist intro because Razor Fist kind of coined the term of the Iron Age, and anyway, but one of the things he said in one of his videos a while back, and he's like, when the Trump mugshot that he did, right? And they're like, what you don't understand is you just turned that man into an outlaw. And the one thing you don't understand is Americans love the fuck out of outlaws.
Right.
The first outlaws we had in this country were the founding fathers. Right? Like that's one of the that's one of the things that I'm teaching my kids is like no, the founding fathers were great men. But I want you to understand something. They believed in what they were. Why does that okay, this is really bad, but that
don't look at it.
Why does it look like it has a camel toe?
Don't look at it. Don't look. Don't look.
What the hell is even
We need
that?
the drink with crazy censorship bar, Richard.
They show that in The Boys.
It's too late. It's too late. But yeah, I'm.
And they show him
I'll
in
be
the
honest,
show.
I'm gonna alt tab on this one.
Yeah. Iron Age FCC fails.
You're gonna have to clean your history after this. But yeah, I mean,
I just did that a week ago. I don't want to do it again.
15 inches of sheer dynamite. But that's how they do it. That's they do this stuff where it's like they associate something like, oh, he's got a big weenie, and oh, he's a communist too, right? So they do the psychological associations. Oh, we're gonna praise communism through, oh, he's got a big pee-pee. And then the author, of course, who wrote it, he's like not against, he's like, he's more he's less tanky, but he's still kind of like a, essentially a social democrat, big into nationalism in the military.
Oh, yeah.
But they show this in the show too. If you've seen The Boys, the show, this guy, he's at an orgy and he's got,
Dude, I followed the entire comic line through Comics Explain, who covered it.
Yeah.
I used to wait every Sunday. I'd be barbecuing on Sundays and I'd be firing up the smoker and listening to that. Like, I mean, it's I do like the story, but God bless it, man. Or Invincible, not The Boys. I'm sorry, Invincible. Sorry, I don't know why my brain did that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. My brain's doing things right now that I'm not fully in.
Is the devil dude wearing a suicide vest? Or is that just like a tax vest?
Cortex is scared of it. Oh man. But
jeez.
They do have things that like for example, even when they did the Anarchy series, like Anarchy meets Order, right? The guy who wrote it's basically an and sock, so he's not what I like. But they juxtapose. Oh, Anarchy and Order are opposites, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always framing. It's how they do it.
I pissed a lot of people off when I did one of my when I did the first Rippaverse video that I did because I told people, I was like, well, I was like, Eric July, he calls himself an anarcho-capital, an ANCAP, an anarcho-capitalist, and I was like, but all of a sudden, he started calling himself a libertarian, which those two things are very different, like and a lot of people took exception to me saying that, and they were like, you don't understand where it comes from, and I'm like, excuse me.
It
Are
depends.
you sure about that?
Yeah, it's big L versus small L. Small libertarian and ANCAP could be interchangeable.
I absolutely hate big L, small L arguments.
Oh,
I've
yeah?
heard people use it with religion.
Yeah.
You don't like big L's, only small L's?
It depends. No, because I think that definition fucking matters. And I think that big L versus small L arguments oftentimes come to people not wanting to stand up to the definitions that they use.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things is I think what was it? One of the first mentions of libertarian or libertarianism was in a British paper, if I'm not mistaken, talking about the libertarians rising up in France around the 1780s, I think. And largely they were looking at what, because Ben Franklin was, going over there in France, banned his ass, which was funnier than hell. But they were looking at still having a government, right? Still having a government in place. But the sensibility was having a small enough government that still recognized the people and still obviously respected the rights of the people. Whereas an anarcho-capitalist is somebody who wants no government with a capitalistic functioning economy. That those are two very different things. Libertarians inherently want 100% more government than anarchists do. Whatever hyphenated version of anarchist you want to talk about.
Yeah, on big L, but not little L. It's a big difference.
What do you mean? So what's the difference?
So Lil L libertarians are philosophical libertarians where they believe that property rights should be taken down to the individual, that a true market order means freedom from all government interference, and that government, if it is existing at all, has to be completely funded and opted into voluntarily. So that would still qualify, and that's why there is this crossover with the small L libertarian as a label and anarcho-capitalist as a label. I'm someone who's an incrementalist, which means that I'm working toward that end.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you. I actually agree with you. Here's the thing: is I agree we both need to go in the same direction, right? But a libertarian, their off ramp, a libertarian's off ramp happens before an anarchist's off ramp happens. And people say, "Well, we're not talking about anarchists." I'm like, "Well, then what the fuck does anarcho-capitalist mean?" An anarchist capitalist, and again, getting into the root of the word. And I understand that definitions, people try to change them over to the course of time. Colloquialisms enter the modern day. But yeah, a lot of people fought me on this. And I said, no. I was like, I fundamentally disagree. Like, libertarians want more government than an anarchist does, because anarchists want no government.
A type of libertarian, yes, but the libertarian small values gets you to the same end of market order.
Potentially, yes. I will agree with you there. And I'm not disagreeing with you there, but like I said, I like people to be as precise as they can, and I try to be as precise as I can, and I fail more often than I would like to. But in the precision of word, because that's where we are today. We talk about all these people infecting our schools, changing definitions to words. It's why my kids don't go to public school. It's why my kids are homeschooled. I have 4
awesome.
of them. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
We've got
unschool even better.
Oh. Actually, we do. We do actually do God, I gotta hold on. It's not that button. It's this button.
Yeah. This is our latest production.
Where can I find that, and how can I drop the link in the chat?
Sure. So this is our kids book, our first ever true kids book called The Unschooled Adventures of Jack and Fa, and currently it is on Amazon Print on Demand. There's also an Indiegogo where you can get some bonuses like stickers, bookmarks, and a signed copy kind of thing. So we decided to do something to kind of inspire freedom. Oh, that's a blank page. In learning, that kind of thing. And so it's, very much like a kid's book kind of thing that, 8 to maybe 13 arena. So lots of big pictures and reading. You could read chorally too if you have younger kids. Just, helping to introduce them to the concepts of self-directed education and, giving a sense of what that could be like. So
Jack, do me a favor, get that link in the private chat for me. I want to drop that in the chat, and I'm actually gonna I'm gonna pull up Facebook. That's a dirty word, but I'm gonna pull up Facebook, and I'm gonna send that to my wife and be like, "Hey, babe, maybe we should look at this."
Fuck, Meta. Sorry, couldn't hold it back this time.
No,
couldn't hold it.
The only thing that website is good for is Messenger and their marketplace. That is the only thing, and Messenger tracks the hell out of you. So. All right, let's get that link down. Dude, I freaking love that.
Thank
absolutely
you. Yeah, that's
love
awesome.
that. Well, yeah.
And we've talked a lot about that because, with my background on the topic, obviously with the law thing, I did juvenile defense and got to work with young people in that capacity. When I was a state school teacher, I worked at an 8-8 high school and also at a K-8 middle school later for a few years. And I kind of already knew, but like getting to see everything in the full gamut from both kids in charter schools, public schools, my own experience. My dad was a 30-year New York City school teacher, kids in juvenile detention halls where they're still forced to go to school in orange jumpsuits. I really got to fully see how the compulsory schooling paradigm just really shames kids and destroys their innate curiosities about the world. And so, that made me very passionate about self-directed learning and unschooling. And so I researched a lot into that. And I have some friends who do that as well. And one person I highly recommend reading is Carrie McDonald. She has a book called Unschooled: Raising Curious, Well-Educated Children Outside the Conventional Classroom. She has her master's degree from Harvard in education. She unschools her 4 kids, and she's a fellow at the Foundation for Economic Education, where she studies different alternative education things. And it's just incredible to see.
The Foundation for Economic Education. That
Yeah.
I think I've actually seen their YouTube channel. They're really good, dude. They're fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. They're absolutely incredible.
Former elementary teacher myself, so.
Oh wow, what grade?
I did, but over the course K through 3, I never made it into the 4th and 5th grade categories before I quit.
and pulled his daughter out to homeschool her.
Yes,
that's awesome. That's
and
amazing.
I helped create a homeschool program for pre-kindergarten to sort of start children with a actual love for learning before they go into the unschooled environment.
So
that's cool.
Really quickly. You guys have seen me show the book, and I want to say this because I'm really proud of this. My oldest daughter, I showed her how I write, which is I write in cursive hand. I can't actually print. I write in cursive. It was drilled into me when I was a kid. And my oldest daughter and all of my kids now are going, well, Dad writes in cursive. We want to write in cursive. And that is one of the coolest things ever. And like I said, I've shown it a bunch of times on stream. And I'm sure a lot of people may or may not get sick of it, but I mean that's my handwriting.
Oh, that's nice.
So, if you ask my mother, it's dog shit, and I need to work on it.
Oh, you got a lot of shame.
My mother's handwriting is immaculate. So there's a reason for it, but it's things like that. It's like, no, it's times when the best schooling that happens is when I go sit down and I read a book, and it sounds like our book club is getting ready to fire back off. So I'm going to actually, sit down and abandon Pal World for a few hours and read a book. But when I sit down in the living room and I actually read, it shut the fuck up. But when I sit down and I read, I'm a blue collar worker, Jack. I apologize. I cuss like a sailor. I should have said this earlier. But
and I like giving race shit.
Yeah. You could have a rainbow collar.
Right. What?
You can have a pink, white, brown, and blue collar if you want.
I'm gonna go see what. Can you guys hear that? I'm gonna go see what's exploding upstairs and make sure that everybody's alive.
Exploding.
Woo, chaos.
I have 4 kids. I've got 4 kids, 3 dogs, I think 5 cats, and a wife.
Dude, I don't know how you're alive.
Last time you checked.
And a partridge in a pear
not on
tree.
this property being stored at another property. We've got like 40 chickens. So.
Oh wow. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And eventually goats.
Dang.
No, I'm gonna get lamb. Well, if I get goat, I need to see if the meat is good first, because I'm not gonna buy.
Dude,
I'm not gonna buy something that I don't like to eat.
How do you got time? That's a lot.
You don't ask for time. You don't ask where do you get the time. You just do it. I'm a very big proponent of just do it. Don't give in to the lazy. I tell people all the time, man. My biggest thing in life is if I sit on the couch and I start doing something on the couch, my day is gone. I cannot give into that, and I tell people that all the time. It is amazing how much time you will get back if you just do the thing that you're thinking of doing.
Mm-hmm. And
guess what? You might even have an inefficient day at it. Maybe you're very distracted. Other things are going on, but it doesn't matter. You will get 100% more done with that thing than sitting down and turning on the TV or sitting down and doing something else. Whatever that thing is that's keeping you from doing it, don't do it. For me,
in this case.
Huh? Pal World. Pal World. Pal World, all jokes aside, has actually been a really good way for my wife and I to hang out with each other, and for a way for my wife and I to go, okay, because again, with the busy, with the kids, and then I go to work, and then she goes to the gym at night after she's cooking, and then she also cooks dinner, and she would we homeschool the kids and all that stuff, and that's then crazy, obviously we have the YouTube channel here, and then we have all the other networking stuff that we're doing with people. Like Pal World has been a really good way for us to go, okay, we need to spend time together. And one of the ways that we're going to be able to do this is because, again, the distractions happen. So we're going to sit down, we're going to turn this video game on, and we're going to play together. And in that moment, that's the thing that we should be doing, right? It kind of goes back to this story that I heard from the.
Isn't your house on fire?
Something exploded, but apparently no one's
dead. I'm fairly certain.
It's not enough of an emergency for him to stop talking.
There wasn't total silence or continued explosion. So therefore it was
fairly certain it was the German Shepherd chasing a cat around.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
That being said, I'm going to go see. Sorry, you guys got that's a Royce rant, guys.
You have to do the thing that you said you wanted to do, not just think about the thing, which means you have to go upstairs if you want to go upstairs.
Correct. Otherwise, I love you and I hate you for using my words against me.
The whole Pal Word thing is just a joke. I'm a Groucho Marx nonconformist, so whatever it is, I'm against it.
Oh God.
We've been talking that they mentioned it in our group chat on Gilded, and I'm like, no, fuck both of you. I'm not buying the stupid game. And then my daughter's upstairs going, I've been thinking about getting Pal World, and I'm like, fuck.
What is Pal World? I haven't actually seen it.
It's
Pokemon with guns.
I say we should probably not go down that rabbit hole.
That's what they were saying. Like, so they're going to sue them, right? I heard about a sue of Pal World, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to actually do it. or
But
well,
they're
I'm
right
sure they
pissed
will.
off about it. That's for
I
sure.
don't know how successful they'll be.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Okay. I like
it's
that.
it's one of those things where I don't know. I think you get into it and there's enough differences that it doesn't really matter. But
Hmm.
How World aside, I missed uh, the first part of this. I apologize for being a little bit late, but um, with
Shame.
your
Shame.
volunteerist uh, series, are you you talked a lot about the political aspects behind it, but were there any particular personal life, uh, other factors that you drew from that contributed to that as far as the inspiration for it? Either actual personal experiences or pieces of media that really uh, like you felt like you were either responding to or helped shape what you were doing.
Definitely, the in terms of the story and the powers concepts in there, and some of the conflicts. I mean, all of it brings to bear the things that I both love the most and also want to see done different or in a better way or something unique. And some of my favorite shows you might think of, in that context are like Hunter x Hunter. I don't know if you've ever seen that
Yeah.
anime, the 2011 version. Love that.
Yes.
So amazing. I think one of the best animes ever. A little bit from, of course, Dragon Ball. Love that. Invincible. That's definitely one of my
Mhm.
favorite comic book series. Watchmen is one of them as well. So talking about outside sources of personal love and inspiration, not in terms of mimicking, but just like these kind of genres and zones
Yeah.
of thought process and thinking about conflict and powers and power scaling and other things like that. Voluntarist definitely has that. And not just that, it has something that has not been done before when it comes to the powers aspect. There's, of course, things that might look familiar or seem familiar, but in terms of the root of what the powers are, what they represent, and some of the things in terms of how their interactivity works is something that hasn't been done before. And as far as I know, and I'm pretty versed in most of the major stuff you could see across, the big titles, Marvel, DC, Image, most popular animes and things like that.
Mhm.
So Star Wars and whatever else, Lord of the Rings, like just across the board. So I think that what I have is something kind of wild and unique that is also enjoyable and gets you into like thinking about those the properties of what goes into it, and also of course power scaling and like who could beat who kind of thing. Because that's when you're a big comic or fantasy nerd, like that's always one of the things you love debating about, right? Is who
Sure.
could beat who? What would be the weakness? What would be
Yep.
if they were at their like halfway power, could they get taken down by this person? What if they had a team up? I love that stuff. Like I eat that stuff up. So that is always about what I'm thinking about when I'm designing everything, the characters in the universe. And some of the characters we create too are just so incredibly cool and fun. And so not all of them have been shown, of course, because this issue, that is this Origins arc, which is a 192-page trade paperback, even within this, even though it has the design out here, we don't even get to when he gets the suit yet. It's very heavy on character development and background and grounding you. So it's not one of those flash pan things where it's just like, hey, you're just going to see people beat them up, that kind of thing. The narrative is long running, deep, engaging. There is definitely action, and there's definitely intrigue and suspense and the thrill of mystery unveiling, because that's always what I love to have whenever I write something. I always want to be like at the end of whatever it is, like an issue, an arc, I want people to say, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens next. The satisfaction of, okay, I found something new and that was cool, but my God, I need to hear what happens next. Like there's another thing to find out and figure out. And that's what I think makes a great story, is when you read it and you're satisfied, you got like a plate of food kind of thing, but you're like, bring on dessert. I want to know what happens next. And that's how I always write what I do and think about, how I frame it and the characters and the story development.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
Same.
As far as teaming up and whatnot, you kind of allude to that a little bit, but is there anything that are there plans for things like that
Teaming
within
up
what you have?
Are you talking about just with the characters within my own universe or outside?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, certainly in terms of the story, the characters aggregate based on certain lines, in terms of what sides they're taking in this plot. And of course, sometimes people are outside that as well, but there's certainly like two major lines, which is the voluntarist side. And then the other side, which is called the status side, but it's an acronym for something else. So
okay.
Those are the main lines. And then of course there's some characters who are outside of that. I of course appreciate gray area characters and possibilities of things turning or questioning things. But something that I wanted to do, which I thought was more unique in recent times, is to have some of those lines be stronger, right? Very often in the more cynical writings of today, you're getting stories where everybody's disgusting and bad, or the lines are muddied. I wanted to return a little bit to the historical, like there's good guys and there's bad guys, and there still can be questionable things in there and questions of people turning, but I wanted to make those lines a little bit more clear, in terms of the conflict. But nonetheless, it's still going to leave you wondering what's good, what's bad. It's still going to challenge you and make you question things. Because it's just the nature of the topics and the situations that the characters are in. It's going to always make you wonder, oh, what would I do, or what's good, or what's bad, or what's right and what's wrong. So,
gotcha. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's very cool. Let me see. Royce, I see that you've returned with
Is your house on fire?
No flaming wig, no, bloody hands.
The bad part is I go up there and the kids are perfectly calm, and I'm like, "Hey,
that's
everything good?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Loud noises I heard up here. Everything cool?" "Yeah, Dad, everything's fine." Okay.
Yeah,
they got
it's
rid
whenever
of
they
the
behave
evidence.
well that suddenly everything.
Dude, I hate that. I hate that so much. You hear the worst noises as a parent, and you go, "Hey, what was that noise? What noise?"
Nothing.
What?
Everything's fine.
The ceiling shook.
Remain calm.
No, the ceiling's fine, Dad. It didn't shake for a...
You're just going senile, Dad.
Yeah, apparently.
They're really good at hiding the evidence, which is a credit. That will take them far in life.
Oh, they're not as good as they think.
Homeschool skills.
Oh, God. Right. Oh, God.
Be concerned when the Google search says how to hide a body.
I think they would ask their mother, not Google. Anyway.
Probably. Beatles for the win.
Oh, God. Oh, you're still sharing it. Did we take it? I don't know. I saw that awesome picture, and I was just like, I need to see this.
Yeah, that's just the desktop background. That was just a little drawing of Voluntarius fighting Leviathan, who's his arch nemesis in the series.
That's
a future-verse prototyping thing.
Freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's dynamic looking image.
Thank you.
It. Do you see other creators doing anything similar to what you're doing, trying to tell put similar morals and ethics into their stories?
Yes. I mean, there are a few, and the people who are doing that, I'm usually pretty friendly with or friends with, because they're in my circle and zone. So they're doing they're doing their own thing, kind of thing. Fantastic Dimension is one by Jerry McClellan. His is a little more softer, but it's a kind of a cosmic superhero journey about liberty. And then there's this other one called Patriot, I think. Hope I'm not butchering that title, but that's another one that comes to mind. Paranoid American. Thomas Gorence, we go way back to when I was first doing my series. He does stuff that's more on the conspiracy side of things, but definitely pro-liberty. And he just did a amazing comic campaign crossover with the comedian Sam Tripoli. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but they just closed that. So he's had quite a bit of success lately too. That's my zone.
So now the next question is, Does the liberty-minded independent comic, does it start to strike a chord with people? Can it strike a chord with people? Do you think that I see a lot of people looking for stuff like that in the world that we're in. Have you seen it? Have you seen a growth? I mean, you've been doing this for a decade.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen that growth, and I've been a part of that for a long time in terms of seeding those seeds of liberty. So much so that Javier Milei, Argentinian president guy, right? His when the cosplayer Lilia was doing his cosplay, she found my comic series and looked at that in reference to create his cosplay costume. So nice. That's the kind of level of cultural seeping that I've had in terms of this stuff over the years. And I would say more than anything, what I think makes my series stand out a bit is that it's just something you're not going to read elsewhere, right? It's so easy to see like, here's the same story again. Okay, some superhero person and they fight a bad guy and that's the that kind of thing. And I don't have any of those limits. I don't have any, corporate shareholders that I have to kowtow to be woke. I don't have to, just keep things sterile. I can make interesting, intriguing dialogue and cut to like really interesting issues in ways that others won't touch. And I love being able to do that. I love having the freedom to do that in a way that is also entertaining and has, a very character-driven story. Again, it's chiefly about the actual actions and figuring out the mystery of where, in this case, Jack's parents are kidnapped too by the government. So there is a lot going on in the story that is just purely about the story itself. It's not really, even all those themes directly. It is a regular story, but with intrigue and with conflict in ways that you will just not see anywhere else. And that's what I think I bring to the table so uniquely is that I'm gonna be able to offer something fresh and that makes you go, finally, something I haven't seen before, right? Instead of like, oh, okay, I've seen this kind of story done a dozen times, right? So it just makes me smile to be able to do that kind of thing and to showcase unique characters that really make you wonder what they are and what's their background, what they're doing. Like, Kaiser Kim in there. Kaiser Kim's that robot guy. So, yeah.
It makes me excited to see that. Well, and obviously you've been, so the Voluntarist is 10 years old, give or take.
I've been doing the comic thing for about 10 years. The canon story has only been in production for about 6, and we just finished that big remaster where now everything is, beautiful, perfect, and we are groovy. Like everything we do has top quality, quality control and production, all that good stuff. So, because I didn't have any type of mentorship or training in any of this. Everything I had to do, I had to learn the hard way from the ground up. From hiring artists, companies. So yeah, exactly, Daniel. Exactly. It is not easy when you don't have it. Now there is. Now you can go on YouTube and get people to tell you things, and you have like blambot.com for lettering with Picos, Nate Picos and stuff. You just didn't have this back in the day. Back when I was doing this, you really just kind of forged your own path and like hoped that you didn't screw up too bad. So now, I have all that ground and I've paid it forward in terms of I've made like this 2.5-hour seminar about how to produce your own comic that's on YouTube. And, it's gotten a lot of good reception because it's pretty in depth. It's not generalizations. It's like, here's specifically what to do and to map out. But
very useful.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy to think that now more than ever, it's really at everyone's fingertips to be able to make something big and creative because the tools are all just there. You got Fund My Comic, you have independent distributing places and print on demand stores, artists never easier that, to reach out to around the world, and with internet connections and speeds, it's just so easy to get stuff done. So it's a wild time for creators. It really is. And people are, who have the talent are taking advantage of it while they can and, making the most of it. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So the designs of the world. I'm seeing a lot of imagery here, especially, I've got your website pulled up over here too. The designs of the world, it can get fairly bloody at times. Now, the question I have to you is, because I have 4 kids, and I've said this many, many times, I want to find stories that I can put in the hands of my children. Where are we at age range wise? What do you think? PG-13? Where are we at like R-rated levels? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, my series has always been meant more toward teen plus or mature teen. The one thing I don't do is like the sex stuff. I don't do anything that's graphic sexual. I refuse to do that kind of stuff. I just think it takes away from what I want to portray. I do have the traditional Americana, PG-13 plus kind of thing where it's the action, there's violence, there's language, that kind of thing. So, it's definitely not meant as a little kid's book, though I have seen parents give it to them like, I don't know, that's a good idea to give your 9-year-old.
But my 9-year-old watches Demon Slayer. What are you talking about?
I don't know, how I haven't seen a Demon Slayer in except for like episode 1, I guess.
It gets pretty brutal. I don't mind bloody fight scenes. I don't mind bloody fight scenes. Over excessive language, and then obviously graphic nudity, and then gore. Yeah. But gore is a very different thing.
Yeah.
Versus bloody fight scenes and gore, and people. Well, what do you mean by gore? Well, when the scene kind of relishes in the grotesqueness of body dismemberment, that's where we start to enter into gore. And as long as we're kind of out, like Invincible, and I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't give it Invincible to my kids. I was like, I would stave that one off. Now, if it didn't quite have the body dismemberment, and dude, some of the images in that book are insane.
Yeah, they're incredibly drawn. They're amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah. And again, not coming as a person who's read it, but again, I listened to a comic channel that covered the whole storyline. Every Sunday. He'd drop a thing, and I'd listen to it, and I'd be like, "Wait a minute, what happened?" And because I just listened to it on barbecuing, and I'd go back and I'd see the images across the screen, and I'm just like, "Oh my god!" I will say this: the animated series, dude. That was one of those like, what am I watching right now, and why am I seeing this?
Yeah.
So, no, dude, this, God, I'm so happy to freaking talk to you, especially somebody who, and not saying that we agree on everything, but we agree on most.
Pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love pineapple on pizza. There we go.
Wait. How do you like your steaks done?
Oh, usually medium rare.
Yes.
Rare. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Did we just become?
What's your opinion on Legends of Korra?
We're not going into that. God damn it.
I've not played. Cannot give an opinion.
We're not going.
Thank you, Richard.
Medium rare.
I'm mostly brain dead, but I saw that one, and I had to take the swing. So.
Yeah,
Excellent tee up.
No, actually, and my son actually came up with a really good idea. He does like a pepperoni pizza with pineapple, and then my wife, she'll take it a step further and she'll do pepperoni pizza and pineapple and jalapenos.
Yes,
and it's and then there's me. Like I can't eat store-bought meat for the most part. Long story, but anyway, and then there's me, just like. My wife grows 5 out of the 10 hottest peppers in the world in our garden every year, and then makes barbecue sauces out of them.
And then I steal them from Royce.
Yeah, fuck you, by the way. Every time she's like, "Well, I have extra." I'm like, "We could keep the extra." And she's like, "Well, no, we're gonna sell it." And then all of a sudden, Daniel's the first purchase. I hate you, Daniel.
They're so good, though.
Yeah, spicy's great. We do spicy challenges, and we've done a ton. Everything from the Hot Ones challenge to,
wait. Do you do it live or do you do it in this format?
Live stream. We've done part of some of our campaigns. We do this hot challenge where we'll do a spin the wheel thing. There's nothing on right now.
Wait. Hold on. That's an actual background that you have? That's not a green screen?
Yeah, it's an actual background.
I thought that was a green screen.
Yeah, I for sure thought that was a green screen. I also
okay,
chuckled to
so
myself
so
whenever I
gentlemen,
realized
here's
it was
where I'm
real.
at. We need to step it the fuck up. Hey Jack, you want to come and co-host this show and show us how it's done from now on? Maybe.
I could show you, but it's just money. That's all it is. It's,
I ain't got money.
That's all it is.
I
I
don't
mean,
know what you're talking about. I ain't got
money can get you anything you want. It's
true.
Working on it.
So, but no, we have. I think that's one of the things. One of these days, the three of us are going to meet up, and it's going to be a live. It's going to be a live show, and we've talked about doing the Hot
Iron
Ones
Age
challenge.
barbecue.
That we'll talk about that later. That will, depending on how everything goes with my wife and things like that, I may or may not be doing the barbecue this year.
I know.
But yeah. So okay. For Jack's purposes, the Iron Age barbecue is essentially this. Like a lot of people want to go to cons and they want to meet the YouTubers at the cons and they want to do all that stuff. And I don't like going out places around massive groups of people. Right.
He wants to make everybody come to him.
See, everybody fucking says that. No, I like to have massive amounts of people at my house and I get to cook for them and I get to entertain. Right.
So you don't like
everybody's got to come to him.
Other people come for you. I get it.
Well, it's more of a it's anyway. But no, I like cooking. I like to have people over. I like cooking for people. That's why I built the freaking barbecue. That's why I built the barbecue pit. So, but we're gonna set up. I hope it happens this year. We're gonna see if medical issues with my wife go well, and they're not bad now. And I want everybody to know that if they go well, we will be setting a date and we'll have people over. We're going to do an Iron Age barbecue. We're going to have the guys up. We're going to do a live Iron Age nights, probably on my back porch. And that's going to be a nightmare of a setup, but I will make that work. And then, so we'll get that all set up. We're going to have a barbecue. We'll have like 25, 30 people at my house. My children will be away for the weekend and we're going to get to meet members of the community and actually talk with everybody in person in a barbecue setting and do Iron Age nights live. And that's where I was like, you know what, we could do like a Hot Ones challenge or just have my wife grow some fresh off the vine, unbelievably hot peppers. And then we just, go at it. So, but that's where the Iron Age barbecue idea comes from. Because that's how I like to interact with people. Yeah. It's one thing to go shake hands and all that. Food, I believe that food brings people together in a way that nothing else on the planet does. Not music, not art, not food. Because
break bread.
Everybody's got to eat.
Everybody's got to eat, and everybody wants to share a story when they eat too. Have you ever noticed that? Like when you're eating something really good, somebody always, oh man, this reminds me of, and bam, story starts. Reminds me of, and then it doesn't matter what that, I went to a place or when I was a kid, or my friend did this thing one time, and then we went and got this food. Like, if you're eating something good, it brings people together and the stories just start going. And that's why I want to do the barbecue. Because if I do my job well, and I cook the good foods, and I have people over, we all get to share those stories and this community that we're building here, which is, I told you backstage, God tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, you need to gather people. I'm able to do that. So that's the thing.
That's awesome. Is it like people bring their own stuff too, or is it just like you're doing the whole food thing? It's
more like I would have we're going to select like 25 to 30 because this will be at my house.
Right.
So I need to make sure I can trust people. And two, it's more like, hey guys, please contribute to the food fund. And then that way my wife and I will go buy it and we'll prepare everything.
Right.
Or if somebody wants to prepare something and they're like, hey, I've got this recipe, but like I need to do it. Like they can obviously go inside and they can cook their dish and, potluck type thing. We'll buy it and bring it out because people will be traveling and stuff like that. And it'll be a whole weekend long thing. It'll be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. And then I'll recover on Monday.
So it sounds like you're having a Woodser or something.
Might as well. Why not? No, that's just how I am though. That's how I am. That's my personality. I don't know. That's what I do.
Yeah. Bring people together, have fun, make some good food.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
I think that's the natural evolution of content creators and the cons. That feels like the natural evolution of just a consequence of doing the creator thing is sharing a certain amount of your personal self with other people. You can't get around that. And when people, if you're being fake about it, people sniff that out and then they go away. And in my mind, that's part of why cons are so good. You go, you meet, you shake hands, you say, oh my God, it's great to meet you. I love doing that, so on and so forth. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that eventually is going to change and become bigger and bigger as time goes on, because this is still a very new thing in the culture. And in my mind, I'm like, well, the next logical step is sitting down and breaking bread with people at a dinner. And a lot of people have done it already. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm grateful for my community. I love the hell out of them. I think you shouldn't talk to them or look at them because that's dangerous and they're very weird people. But I love the hell out of them. So why don't I cook food for them? Why don't I break bread with them? Why don't I sit down? We have a live show and people can pop in the guest chair and just rotate out if they're comfortable with being on camera and have just a fun time over the weekend. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
It'll be fun. It's just a matter of
awesome.
Right people. That's all. Yeah.
Or something horrible happens and it makes the news.
Chaos.
You burn your wieners or something?
No, we don't.
You're not gonna cook any hot dogs?
You don't know what barbecue is, sir.
I mean, I don't know. I thought you might want some hot dogs.
I don't want hot dogs. No, you don't cook hot dogs. I would do. No.
Oh, what is that? What is that jingle from
pulled pork, like smoked chicken?
What is that jingle from Demolition Man? Armor hot dogs. That's what it is.
That's a great movie.
Oh God. I thought I was sharing that screen because this is exactly what I have up now.
So I don't know if you checked out our music too. Have you seen any of that?
No, I have not.
Yeah. Our stuff, there's a lot that we do. So it goes real deep. It's like a whole universe. It's like you gotta grab popcorn kind of thing. But yeah, so I also produce music, and also, perform music and shoot music videos, stuff like that. The latest one we just shot was called Break the Great Reset. So my wife, the philosopher, she did a great job with that music video. And are you familiar with Klaus Schwab?
Yes.
Then you definitely got to play this video and watch it because it's amazing. It's got a little cameo that will bring a smile to your face. But it basically, is a song into resistance to the Great Reset and the crazy, you will eat the bugs that know nothing people at the World Economic Forum.
Get in your pod.
Dude. Yeah, that's a thing. Oh God.
Yeah.
I want that jacket.
Which one? This one here?
The flag jacket. And I do not consent. I want that jacket.
That one. I did not consent. Oh, the flag. Oh, yeah. So that's a crazy outfit.
I want that jacket though. That's smart.
It is pretty wild. It was a great costume piece.
So talking about comic books, can we comment on how Klaus Schwab is the most stereotypical comic book villain on the fucking planet?
Bond villain,
and
man.
Nobody fucking sees it.
I see it. He's a Bond villain.
Play it.
I was gonna find him. They could see some strains there. Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, don't you love all that?
Yeah, my brother Josiah did his cosplay for this, and he really played a great Schwab. I mean, he really looks the part.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Are we playing it or what?
Well, is it best for you to play it or for me to play it? Because I don't know if you'll hear it or what you want me to do.
Yeah, send it to me. Let me play it.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah.
the link and let me play it.
Let me get you.
And then StreamYard is gonna garbage up the audio as much as it can, but it'll be better if I do it.
You got it. I got you. All right, I'm put it in your private place.
No.
There you go.
No. No.
It already happened, Royce.
No, it did not. I did not.
It's already
I
inside.
did
You
not
know, on that-
consent. I
You
did not
can't
consent.
uninside. You did not consent. You asked for it. That's the definition of consent.
Yeah.
All right, you know, with that,
Shouldn't have been
with
wearing those
the
clothes,
talk
Royce.
of Royce's private place and his lack of consent, I think I'm actually going to
Richard's gonna run
jail
away.
here. I'm going to go do the old man thing and unwind. It was good to meet you, man. I'm really looking forward to the checking out the voluntarist a little bit more because it's definitely I love the premise and
Thank you.
yeah, man.
And you
thank
know
you
Nikki
for swinging
Pacone?
by.
Nikki
What was
P.
that?
Nikki Pacone, Nikki P.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Iron Age
Yeah.
Marketing. He
My
was in the
man.
chat. He was in the chat earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Yes.
think I saw him.
I had to name drop him because, of course, he also recommended you guys, spoke highly and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
think
he's awesome.
so.
I still haven't sat down to talk to him yet, in part because I have this pervasive guilt.
Richard, he was on the show.
Well, I know, but I don't want to actually sit down and talk to him until I do one of the at least
He was on the show. You
few
sat down
dozen
and talked
things
with
that
him
I know
already.
I need to do. Yeah, but I'm gonna talk to him about what should I do with the website, everything else.
Oh,
And
you
it's
mean
like,
just
I
You
gotta-
really
oh.
should.
Well, I mean he's very helpful. It's just I should do all those bare minimum things that I already know I'm not doing, so he's not like, "Hey, stupid," And then I'm like, I already know I need to do all those things. He's like, "Yeah, but why aren't you doing them?" I'm like, I don't have any excuses. So once I do
Right.
those things, I'm gonna hit him up. But
Definitely hit him up. Hit him up.
and he'll have even more good ideas. See, I'm just trying to not waste his time, and also that's my excuse. There you go. There we go. Do it. Perfect. That's not gonna haunt me or anything. Nice setup.
He's got
I'm
all
glad
sorts of
I'm glad
tricks.
Royce doesn't have that feature.
Right?
That
you
would be
imagine?
truly
I'm
disturbing.
gonna get it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Then we're gonna be stuck with Iron Age booty daddy. Big
Yeah,
face
exactly.
shot.
He's gonna go Twitch thought on us and have an ass cam here.
He's like,
gonna
"Look
get
at
the
this."
mirror, and finally, Herman's really gonna start dropping the super chats after that. But anyway, on that note,
You have one of those glass bottom chairs and a camera right underneath.
listen,
wow.
I don't know the details, Daniel.
I'm
You're the
what
Twitch thought
the
expert here.
hell have you seen on? I didn't know that was a thing, and now
Good
my
now.
brain can't unsee it.
I'm just giving Hedge fuel. He's probably
He doesn't need
sitting
any
here
fuel.
watching, going,
He does not need any fuel. I'm afraid to ask
Hedge
him for
needs
another
plenty
custom
of
cover.
fuel.
What the hell
Um,
happened to this?
I was just trying to leave. And
I ended up
and-
on
and
my
things
third
got even
drink.
more out of
That's what
control.
happened.
And I have regrets. What can I say?
Richard,
Run, Richard. Run while
what do
you
you
can.
do? Where can we find you, man?
IronAge.media, AnvilMagazine.com. Check it out. Two big things. The submission window for issue number 5 opened on February 1st. I'm looking for short fiction, comics, and possibly reviews. Mainly if you have a history of reviewing products. And also artists, always looking for artists, although I think I have everything lined out for issue number 4, so it'll be just a little bit. And the other thing is, on Sunday I'm going to be celebrating my 52nd chill stream on Sunday, which is going to be BattleTech. I'm going to be playing my beautiful wife Devaney, and then also Mage Leader. So we are going to be hanging out playing some classic tabletop BattleTech, actually on a table. So it will be
That's awesome.
It'll be a good time. So
Nice.
without that, I'll leave Jack to non-consensually intrude upon your private spaces, and everybody else to enjoy the show.
He consents. Take care, Richard.
As long as you yell surprise.
He
right? I
did
think
in the
that's
private
how that
chat.
works.
He just
Yep.
likes to likes the role play.
He can't help but consent. He just can't help himself.
What the hell happened? We were here, and then things were going good, and then I don't even. Hey, look at that! We got music video, ladies and gentlemen. Check this one.
There we go.
Yeah.
This is to all my people fighting back against the lockdowns, the shutdowns, and the censorship. You are not alone. We will rise.
This is a Ron Video production.
Whether you're in the US, the UK, New Zealand, Canada, China, Brazil, Germany, or Japan, worldwide, we will win. World Economic Forum, Great Reset. Nothing great about these guys on a quest of theft. Wanna put you in a pod, make you starve to death. Turn your children into slaves and exploit what's left. Klaus Schwab, Goon Squad, black robes and crests. Illuminati concepts, New World Order chess. You're the carbon they wanna reduce. Sterilize, emasculate it so you can't reproduce. I will not go along with the Great Reset. I will do my very best to resist. I will not eat the bugs. I will not own nothing. I will not bow down to their evilness. I will not go along with the Great Reset. I will do my very best to resist. I will not eat the bugs. I will not own nothing. I will not bow down to their evilness. King Charles coming with the green recovery. Except the only green they want is a CBDC, central bank digital currency. A spyware to control every transaction seen. Agenda 2030, nobody's free. Trudeau, Bill Gates, United Nations tag team. Social credit system, neo-feudal slavery. Refuse to get the shot flag, forced quarantine. I will not go along with the Great Reset. I will do my very best to resist. I will not eat the bugs. I will not own nothing. I will not bow down to their evilness. I will not go along with the Great Reset. I will do my very best to resist. I will not eat the bugs. I will not own nothing. I will not bow down to their evilness. We working harder and harder to outsmart the state. Parallel economy, a change of fate. Fourth industrial rev, their plan to take every liberty left. Your life enslaved. Cut through Malthusian lies, learn the truth. They creating scarcity, banning fossil fuels. So don't give an inch, my precious jewel. Break the Great Reset. We cannot lose.
That was pretty good, dude.
You like
There's
that?
a lot of work going on in there.
Yeah, a lot of production, you know.
Holy shit.
I'm a producer after all, so gotta tweak it up.
there was a that reminded
Like
me
Klaus Schwab littering.
right,
yeah, right with the bug. He's like,
that was dude,
that was a real bug pop.
That reminded me of an indie musician that we interviewed, and he's a great guy. He's part of the community. Hobo Sermons.
Oh,
He did he did a take on a parody take on "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Yep.
And it was "We Ain't Afraid of Rona."
Yep.
Okay.
I've got to find it. It's called "Afraid of Rona," and I want to show it to you because I think you might appreciate
It's really
this. If you don't,
fun.
dude,
Yeah.
it is freaking hilarious. If you don't mind, I'd love it. I was listening to that and I was like, "Oh my god, I think you would absolutely appreciate it." It's because this guy, a lot of folk music, dude, and
awesome.
Hobo's so cool. So yeah, I would love to show this.
It's up our alley because we did 2 songs as relates to that topic, and one of them was very popular called Mask Order, and like the Canadian truckers were blaring it and stuff. You know, when they did the blockage and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, this is him. He's over in Thailand right now. He's American. He's from Michigan, but he's over in Thailand right now. That's where he lives. Yeah.
Yep.
I figured this would be up your alley, and if I could connect you two, I want to.
Get a woke, go broke, racist cops, super shows, jerking off and Zoom calls, TikTok videos. Body biz, wet pussy, LeBron James, about to see bad lady, Shangling, novel virus, mysteries. Cover up for British Royals, Hunter Biden, Dick Files, Operation Solar Winds, Eric shit his pants again. Fake tears from Don Lemon, Ben Shapiro, promo cards, Tucker Carlson sitting there, Slack, John, messy hair. We ain't afraid of Rona, just a cold with a scary name. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's all a plan to make us the slaves. Look here, fall upstairs, grab the rail, almost there, turn around, fake a smile and salute. Something about the thing, you know, all I'm trying to say is though Corn Pop's a bad dude, she looks 19 years old. Klaus Schwab, Ghislaine, Zuckerberg and Fauci, QAnon, House of Sod and DJT. Mostly peaceful protests, insurrection madness, carbon credit offsets will not help fix this mess. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's just a cold with a stupid name. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's all a plan to make us the slaves. ECRs, UAVs, lockdowns, quarantines, Bill Gates, Epstein, untested vaccines, double mask, triple mask, cotton swabs up your ass, ivermectin, HCQ, doctors banned on YouTube, 20 trillion in debt, schools closed, don't pay rent, inflation about to hit, you'll eat the bugs that like it. Bitcoin, GameStop, silver stacked and lead locked. I don't think I can watch when this bubble finally pops. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's just a cold with a silly name. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's all a plan to make us the slaves. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's just a cold with a scary name. We ain't afraid of Rona, it's all a plan to make us the slaves.
Very catchy. He was very creative with all those drops of the different events going on during the time. That was good. That was good.
No, and
that was good.
I've listened to that so many times, and every time I've listened to it, I actually catch another thing that he mentioned.
Right.
Because especially over the internet. It's a lot. Like the way that I was like, but no, I figured that would be something up your alley after you showed me that. And like I said, one of the things
he has a studio EP out also. It's really good. Some original stuff that's amazing.
If I can connect people who would like to work with each other, I try to.
That's cool.
Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just like, yeah, that was cool. But you know what, dude, I absolutely believe in what so many individuals are doing right now. Going, no. We don't trust what's been told for the last 50 years. Never mind before that. But let's just go with when media became pop. Well, actually, oh God, no. The 1950s,
if you want to throw that qualifier, you got to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody's got we know what we like. We know what we're seeing. We know what we're doing. And it's time that we actually speak up about this. And I figured, man, I was watching that music video you were showing us, and I was like, man, dude, if this guy isn't up your alley, maybe he's not, I don't know, but if he's not, like, I was like, and I haven't played any of his stuff since he was on stream with us, and I was like, I think, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, he's cool in terms of, he's a competent strummer and he definitely has good lyrics and stuff like that. When it comes to music and stuff like that and like different artists, there isn't usually much to do about, anything in terms of that. Cause it's, when you're trying to create or things like that, you have to have, a lot already invested financially to be able to even do something and this or that. And we do our stuff like very tight knit contractually. We go to studio professionally. We have, very big complex, as you saw, orchestration.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
So it's a little bit more, more than just like, hey, you want a jam, buddy, kind of thing, So, but, it's definitely cool. It's definitely cool.
No, and I know I wasn't meaning so much I do want to jam. It was more like, you know what? That Hollywood has a network of people that they can just ring up on the phone and pull in, right?
So they're Jewish producers like a Capitol Records and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what?
I am one, but for liberty.
Let's build the network. My whole point with all of that was maybe, you know what? Let's build the network. Let's build
the networking
the
thing is great. Of course.
And,
it's just about the goals and what is practical or what things people can do. That's all.
You mentioned Nikki P earlier.
Right? Yeah,
and he had mentioned you to us, and that's kind of what I mean is that like just expanding the network just by drop a name saying, hey, check this guy out. That's all I meant by that. I'm sorry if it came across as more than that.
Oh no,
it's
all good. It's all good. No,
I'm a drunk redneck. You need to understand something. I'm a drunk redneck.
No. I'm not like haughty or anything like that way. It's more just speaking of the practical realities of those things. That's all when it comes to connection, music production, all that stuff. Definitely, there's lots of artists and stuff like that who I appreciate in the zone, like Eric July and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely quite a few Liberty artists more than ever. I mean, it's been pretty wild. You have on the more mainstream, a little bit anti-authoritarian, but getting a little bit away from there, like Tom McDonald. You have High Res. You have quite a few people who are.
Tom McDonald's interesting.
He is interesting.
And that you listen to a lot of his lyrics.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Tom McDonald is definitely, he is I believe he's anti-authoritarian, but I absolutely believe that Tom is the type of person that believes that government should probably have a lot more control than I think government should have, right?
Probably because he does do a lot of lip service to patriotism and military police and things like that, and more so than he even used to.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if that's more of a. I don't know. I get it.
He's playing the game.
I've heard that too. And like I said,
yep.
Okay, you need to fucking email me your setup. I love this shit. I need this.
So he's playing the game. No harm, no foul there.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Well, yes, harm and yes, foul. If you're gonna be putting out music in the vein that he's putting out, and you're going to be putting out a blatant message in the way that he's putting one out, and knowing how people are going to associate it, I mean, a house of cards, they all come crashing down. No, I'm not saying that he doesn't believe in any of the stuff that he sings about, but I don't think that I think that the audience that attaches themselves to him, he's wording things in such a way that people are not paying attention to what. Now, as a child who grew up with rap from the 90s and fucking rap from the 2000s, and I can actually keep up with the lyric, there are people I've met who love Tom McDonald who can't follow what he says in his raps, and they think it's too fast, and I'm like,
he's a slow rap.
Yeah, he's not.
The normie that listens to him just hears that snappy hook, and then they hear something about get woke, go broke, and they're like, oh my god, I love it. They can't actually I've met a lot of people. I've met a lot of people like that. And that's kind of where I get in with him is I don't believe he is being completely disingenuous, but I think hamming it up would be more of the appropriate.
Yeah, he's playing the game
term here.
He's moved his Overton window of discourse to become a bit more mainstream than his original, true, anti-government, anti-authoritarian vibes that was really great in the early stuff. I was like, okay, let's go.
I agree.
He's shifted away from that in recent times. And even the Ben Shapiro thing, which was a little painful.
I did not watch that. I will not.
It was pretty funny.
I have major. I after Ben Shapiro did his Sunday interview thing with Jeremy Boring years ago, in which Jeremy Boring basically said he wouldn't speak up about a Hollywood producer who was absolutely using his position to get in women's pants and like and do that, because he's like, well, I still want to make movies. I was like, I don't have respect for somebody like that,
Right.
and that
You're not supposed to.
That kind of tarnished the Daily Wire for me. I'm sorry. And they were both okay with it. They were both okay with knowing that and he never named the person. And it was and the reason that you say that is, one, you could either say something and you could say, look, I know this guy was doing it. I have the proof to back it up, or I'm lying out my ass.
Yeah.
Or you just hear rumors and it's a defamation issue and you're worried that you don't have
right.
But his thing was, look, I can't say anything because this was a private conversation and I literally have no documentation to back it up. Jeremy Boring didn't say that. Jeremy Boring said, but I want to make movies in Hollywood, so I can't say anything.
Right.
Right.
And I'm like, so, and again, it's what he said. It's okay. So you're just a dog of the industry, and we all know how you want to fucking work. Like
this is something that Nikki P and I have talked about repeatedly when him and I sit down, and it's, do you stand on your laurels completely? Which there's nothing wrong with doing so. I'm not saying that there is, but do you stand on your laurels completely and make less impact, or do you make money? Well, hold on, let me finish. Or do you make massive amounts of money that give you the opportunity to do things that you want to do on a more beneficial level?
Or do you stop and think about what you're saying? There's a middle ground.
The answer,
thinking about
there is a middle ground, but people don't like middle ground.
I'm not saying middle ground. In specific instances, the idea here was, he said, but he wanted to make movies, which is why he's not going to oust anybody. It was a private conversation. And being that it was a private conversation, I have nothing to back this up. It would all be conjecture. So at this point, it would cause more harm than most people, I think, would. But he didn't say that. He said, but I still want to make movies and I still want to have connections, so I can't say anything. And that's
because Jeremy is just a money man.
That's the thing right there. Had he phrased it a little bit differently, I might not think that scumbags run the Daily Wire. But now I think scumbags run the Daily Wire. I understand. Hey,
not principal the Daily Wire, so that's a start.
What's up?
They're not principal. The Daily Wire is a conservative media outlet. It's not the organization. The people themselves are not libertarian in any way, both character or virtue. They're not peaceful parenting advocates. They're not nonviolent communication advocates, which is another part of that stuff. And so they will absolutely have hypocrisies and problems.
Correct.
I think rampantly.
But they're also open about that.
Yeah.
About their hypocrisy, or about that they are just doing the money?
The hypocrisy and all of that. That was the point of what Jeremy said. He totally understands that it is a stance of hypocrisy. But to him, making the money and being connected in that world to do what he wants to do, is more important to him. He was just being honest from his position. Well, you being honest from your position is a totally accepted consequence of that.
I agree with you that he was being honest. And in his honesty, I realized they were scumbags and I didn't really want to watch them anymore. And I get that. Like, I get it, And like I said, I'm not.
There's a certain level of refreshing to that, in that the other side would rather hide the hypocrisy, and that to me, I'm not trying to argue against it or change your mind. I'm just saying that to me, that sort of honesty, like, I'm totally willing to play the game with these assholes because I want to keep doing this stuff and making this money and doing the things that I want to do. And at the same time, he produces the stupidest fucking comedy movie of the century in that jackass Lady Ballers film, which was absolutely hilarious, but it's totally a jackass comedy.
And also the irony.
Nobody
the irony
wanted that.
Guys dressing as girls. Like the whole thing is, oh, we want to make fun of doing this, but wait, you're doing it to do it. It's like that's
Right, exactly.
It's ironic. Like if you did this 20 years ago when like South Park was doing that, it'd be like, okay, that's kind of funny because it's not a popular thing now. But now you're actually just doing it. You know what I mean? You're having guys cross dress.
It was. I mean, but there was a time. But there was a time for that. And
when did you want to cross dress?
Oh God, what the fuck are you saying? No, I'm saying movie. I see what you did there. No.
Yeah, you got you.
Well, it's like, dude, I will never forget. I will never forget when the movie White Chicks came out.
Great movie.
Yeah, and my dad sat down and he watched it and he goes, "All right." He goes, "Nope, I didn't like it." I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Dad, it was a funny movie." And I think all of us were laughing. And he goes, "Put a couple of white dudes in that same thing, but they cross dress as black chicks." He goes, "How do you think this movie plays?" And that was when White Chicks came out, and my dad was right. And he is even more right now. And I was like, all right, like I get it, you know.
So you're saying there's still a chance we can do a Black Chicks movie?
Dude, somebody. Here's the thing. I don't think there's still a chance. I think somebody needs to.
For doing
I
that
think.
Rusty
Okay.
style.
All right. So let's just.
The gun just went off.
Hey, YouTube. Just so everybody is listening, I 100% think that the reverse of White Chicks needs to be made. Right? We need 2 white dudes cross-dressing as black chicks, acting like they're black chicks in the most stereotypical fashion for a movie.
Could it be Will Ferrell as one of them?
Oh my God. Dude, Will Ferrell and Ben Stiller would probably be.
That would actually be so good.
What is his buddy's name?
And I can't say I named both of them. I can't stand either of them. I hate both of them as actors.
Right, not for their politics, whatever, just for
No. As actors, I don't like them.
Not their old stuff even?
Nope. I liked
right.
I liked Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction.
Elf?
And no, I fucking hate Elf. God, if I have to watch that, my kids watch it every year and I want to gouge my eyes out. I hate Elf with a passion.
That's rough.
John C. Reilly. That's
I
his
liked
name.
Anchorman.
No. And I liked Ben Stiller in Night at the Museum. Nope.
How about Heavyweights?
I haven't seen Heavyweights, so I can't comment on that one.
You watch that,
but dude, my humor is old. I like older humor. One of my favorite comedy movies of all time is Grumpy Old Men. Have you ever seen that one? 90s movie.
I haven't actually.
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Yep.
They're gonna be like Airplane or something, or like
Nope. I think and then I like like the Beavis and I obviously Beavis and Butthead Do America, like stuff like that.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
almost
I'm
like
not.
Gen X-y.
Huh?
So it's almost like Gen X-y.
Yeah, but I'm a millennial, so
I know that's what I'm saying. You're liking borderline Gen X.
Actually, that probably comes from my brothers. My brothers are actually Gen X. Well, no, one of my brothers is Gen X, and my other brother is early millennial. But anyway, I didn't like a lot of modern 2000s comedy. I will say this, except for I think the one modern 2000s comedy that I saw that made me bust a gut was the first Hangover movie.
Yes.
Dude, I saw that in theaters. So here's the thing: my buddy and I, we didn't know. My buddy and I were hanging out, like, yeah, let's go see a movie. And we're like, oh, it's this Hangover movie, and they're like, yeah, can we see your IDs? We're like, yeah, because we were young kids. We're like, yeah, here's our IDs. They're like, okay, cool, you're old enough. And the lady who gives us certificates goes, keep your IDs out, and we're like, what? What do you just keep your IDs out until you get in the theater? We're like, okay. So we walk into the theater where they check and they go, we hand them the tickets and they go, do you have your, and we handed over our IDs and they're like, okay. And the guy there goes, all right, so are you guys going to go get snacks? We're like, yeah, we're going to grab some popcorn and stuff. He goes, okay, keep your IDs out. And they checked them one more time before we got into the theater. And we're like, what the hell? Why are you checking our ID 3 times? Because we were like 18. We were like just over, like, 18, 19 years old. And we're watching this movie and we're sitting there commenting. We're like, okay, this movie's funnier than hell. Right? We don't know why they wanted to check our IDs 3. And then we saw the end credits. And our entire movie theater did that. The end credits hit and everybody does it. And they go,
oh, all right, get back there.
That was the funniest, dude. So long, gay boys. Dude, that was the funniest freaking movie that I had seen in a long time. That is one of the few modern comedies that I actually enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird like that though. Like I hated Napoleon Dynamite, couldn't stand that, and that was all the rage when I was younger. Yeah. I hated Napoleon Dynamite. That
was fun. You like Blazing Saddles?
That one I love a lot of the scenes from it. I haven't actually seen all of it
while I whip this out.
Yeah, where do white women at? Right. No,
that KKK scene was fucking great.
Actually, I want to do a movie
night.
Hey,
fellas, look what I found. Where the white women at?
I want to do a movie night in my Gilded where we watch Blazing Saddles.
You should do it. Don't just think about it.
Yeah, do it, man. This would be awesome.
Just do it.
Oh no, we've talked about it for a long time. It's a matter of time.
That's the problem. We've been talking about it for a long time. You got to do it.
I know. I'm trying. Okay. I get it.
I'm working for Mel Brooks.
So great, dude. Well, gentlemen, I think that we have reached the end of the evening. We don't have any super chats that have come through in the evening, and I haven't seen many questions. I usually watch for questions.
I think we've left people with more questions than anything.
I'm okay with that, though. I'm okay with that, dude. Jack, man, thank you so much for coming on tonight, dude. I am like I said, my wife
slipping.
Huh?
The chat's slipping.
I know the chat's
or maybe they're satiated, or maybe their hands are busy.
Most people in the chat were basically their answers to everything you were saying. Were like, I'm sold. I want to check this out. So Jack, where can they check it out? Where can they find you?
Yes, I love that question. Okay, so
it's a great question. It's the best question. It's
the only question you'd ask.
Yeah.
So, Vol Comic, V as in voluntarious or victory, VOLCOMIC. You can see it right down there. That is where the comic website is. And if you want to check out anything related to their history, the lore, it's all there. It's been around for a long time. It's really cool. And if you want to check out any of the other stuff I do, because as I mentioned, I do a lot of things. It's really hard. We didn't even cover all of it, but we have the kids book out, which is right now out on Amazon and Indiegogo, The Unschooled Adventures of Jack and Fa. I also have, and we didn't cover this too much, but I also have a nonfiction book set. So I've written a few I'm like losing order. There we go. The Definitive Guide to Libertarian Voluntarism, Vision for a Libertarian Future, and Philosophical Voluntarism. If you read these books, your life will literally be better. So it helps you understand the principles of liberty, to apply them consistently in your life, and also gives you a sense of incrementalism for the future. They are highly recommended, and it's really just something that is easy and digestible to read. As you can see, each of these run about 100 pages. You can just read it on Lazy Saturday. So those are all available on Amazon, and of course,
Lazy Saturday exists.
If you got it, if you don't have a wife and
kids, your name is not Royce.
Yeah, and 3 dogs and a bunch of explosions going on upstairs and people trying to get in your private chats. So
wait, people are trying to get in my private chats? I didn't know about this.
They're always wanting to get in there. They're always wanting to get in.
That's help. I need an adult. Oh shit, you guys are adults.
I think we are. I hope so at this point. It's been a long time.
Yeah, my ID says that I'm a registered adult.
Your ID is still good.
Lazy Saturdays are not Royce compliant. Pretty much,
right,
man. I agree.
If you if you got a busy Saturday, then do it on a busy Saturday. While your kids are jumping on you and the chickens are on top. You can do it. It's possible.
Why the fuck are the chickens involved in this?
You have a lot of chickens. There's bound to be some chicken play here and there.
No.
I'm sure you've played with your chickens before. You never just like, I'm going to ignore these chickens. I'm going to just, not do anything with them all. I'm just going to, No,
you feed them, you water them, you let them outside.
You never play catch with your chicken? Like, here's some corn.
No, every so often the cock gets really angry and decides to attack you, so you have to kick it. But
say you play kick the cock. That's a game.
That's such an easy tee up.
I mean, it wasn't trying to be a cock tease. It was just literally, when it comes at you, you have to do something. You can't just stand there.
Oh God.
But yeah.
Why are you gay?
Jack, thank you so much, man. Mr. Daniel P. Riley, what do you do? How do you do? And where can we find you?
At whimsyland.org, as you can see on the screen. That is my website for coaching in how to write effectively and consistently, get your project from the beginning to the end, as well as editing services so I can polish up whatever you're working on. And on Sundays, you can hang out with me if you are a creator and get some work done on your project as I do The Freelancer live stream, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome, man. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you, gentlemen, for setting aside Friday night. And ladies and gentlemen, never forget, every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Central, I read all of your comments that you leave on our live stream VODs, as well as the videos that I do throughout the week, because I figure if I dedicate my time, or if you guys dedicate your time to me, I'm going to dedicate my time right back to you. I about screwed that up. That's probably...
It's the IAK Sunday. You got Sunday coffee with Royce. You come work on your projects with me in the afternoon, and then chill with Richard at the end of the day.
Yeah, all three of us. It's absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. God bless. Hail the Lord. It's good having you here. Have a good one, Bat Sauce. Thank you so much, AC Pritchard. Take it easy, man.
What up, AC?
Good night. Alpha Proto, good night, man. Resonant One says, Vaya con Dios, all. That's Spanglish, so we call that Spanglish.
Spanglish.
That last one was Spanglish.
The worst Adam Sandler film.
My favorite Adam Sandler film is still Happy Gilmore to this day.
Always.
He's never done a better film.
Nope.
My wife tried. What was it? What was it? Billy Madison. What was that other one? Little Nicky. God, I hated both of those.
The only good part about Little Nicky was Henry Winkler covered in bees.
I don't know. I'm an odd duck. I know the mic is hot. Herman, how do I say goodbye to you if the mic's not
Go to
hot?
bed, Herman.
I know. He's old. He needs to go to bed. I don't know why old people are up past the Price is Right, but they do that.
Yeah,
nowadays.
man. You got to get up for that early
Ladies
bird
and gentlemen,
stuff.
thank you all so much for being here. And until next time, cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.